my relationship started changing and transforming for the better with other people when I started changing and transforming the relationship that I had with myself. I finally got to a point to where I was tired of like being a victim and pointing the finger at the guys. I came to a realization, okay, hold on, what's like the common theme, common denominator here? Like what's the pattern? And it was me. I was the common character showing up in my life in relationships. And I'm like, aha, okay. So what do I got to do? And that's really when I dove into personal development. I mean, I dove into personal development before that, but it was more so like for business purposes. But then I finally came to a point to where I'm gonna turn around here. This is gonna get noisy. I finally came to a point to where I'm like, okay, I need to do this personal development on not just advancing my career and like becoming more successful. I want to start healing my heart. I want to start healing and breaking the cycle and pattern in my personal life of dysfunctional dating, relationship, and love. Like, let's work on that. And that happened right about 30, 31. And the biggest thing I want to share with you, like the pivotal foundation piece that I dove into on healing my not good enoughness, not worthy, not lovable wound. A big part of it was learning how to start showing up for myself how I wanted others to show up for me. This is a concept and a practice, um, in a concept and a practice and a habit that my life coach really drilled into me with compassion and with patience, and consistently, like over and over and over again, but with such grace and patience and compassion to where it finally stuck. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I'm going to keep repeating myself until the cows come home because we uh, we got to be reminded. I think the biggest thing is reminders, reminders, and reminders is how we are able to stay the course, be consistent with really taking care of ourselves or really accomplishing a goal and just creating a life that we want. It's not that we need to learn something new all the time. It's just that we need to be reminded on why we're doing the things we're doing that are really hard and challenging, but that give us a new result and outcome in life. It's really just reminders and constant like repetition of learning stuff. So for me, it it came to self care. Um, it was getting home at a decent time, brushing my teeth, flossing, eating a good meal, getting a good night's rest, and really pulling back on just these late nights. That was like the foundation piece that my coach taught me and that I got away from sometimes and then I had to, come back to was okay, like what would a loving parent do, Nikki, for their child? They would make sure they're getting proper rest. They're making sure that they're feeling nurtured and that they feel safe. So I had to start creating this this place of nurture, safety, and respect. And that looked a lot like, take a little break here. That looked a lot like changing my evening habits, my evening routine. And I know it sounds so basic and fundamental, but it was just really one of those pivotal things for me. I had to stop going to these happy hours, hanging out with the work people, or when I was dating, going out dating, meeting up, and staying out until like, midnight or 11 or 1 or 2 in the morning, like during the week and even on the weekend, and drinking way too much. And I know this drinking thing, like, so just a little side note, I kind of been on this sober curious journey. I never been a problem drinker, I don't think, although I did drink a lot to escape in my 20s. Um, So I'm not like a alcoholic. I wouldn't define myself as that, but I would define myself as someone who would drink a lot to escape my reality of being sad and lonely, and to escape my reality of just being like stressed and not being where I wanted to be at life, or not to feel an emotion I wanted to feel. So what my coach told me was, you got to start getting home at a decent time. You got to cut back on the drinking. And another big thing to where I really didn't feel worthy, or I felt flawed and not good enough or pretty enough with my skin. I've always struggled with acne, um, and blemishes, and just like being really insecure about my skin. And she said, "Here's the good thing. Here's the good news. Here's also a thing to encourage you of getting home earlier, not staying out so late. You will have time to actually do a really good nurturing skincare routine." She's like, one of your biggest pain points is your skin, your face, your appearance. So just imagine when you get home at a decent time, you will have the energy. You won't be too tired or too drunk to actually take care of your skin. I'm like, huh, okay, this is true. She was like, and you'll save some money on alcohol to where you can afford these more higher end skincare products if you want to. I said, yeah, that is true. But breaking this, kind of like trying to bring this full circle here, breaking this toxic relationship pattern and finally calling in the love of my life 10 years ago. It wasn't like any big thing that I did. I didn't hire this super expensive, talented, experienced dating coach, or matchmaker, which actually I did do that before. And I'm like, that's a complete waste of money, because they might be able to match you up with somebody and do the like match you up with the date, which is good. That takes that part out for you. But wherever you are with yourself, like how you feel about yourself, where your self-worth level is, your self-respect, your self-confidence level is at, if it's at a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10, it doesn't matter how good the matchmaker does in bringing prospects to you, because it's not going to work out because you don't feel worthy or deserving. So I spent thousands on a matchmaker in my 20s, and it never worked out because I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel worthy, um, of that, of that person. So I would just, sabotage it, um, before I even had a chance to do anything good. So I really had to start working on dating myself, being the friend to myself, partner to myself that I always wanted. And that took a good year to do. It took a good year to get honest with myself and to really just learn the habits and the behaviors of, okay, someone who loves themselves, who respects themselves, who accepts themselves, who trusts themselves, who believes in themselves, and who creates a home of safety, like that, that's the real work. And that's what took me a year to do, to then attract the love of my life, to then start a whole new career in coaching, and to then also really start setting some self-respecting boundaries, with dysfunctional, relationships that weren't romantic, right? Family, friends, etc., business, relationships, and all that. But it was like the basic fundamental of self-care, not drinking too much, coming home at a decent time, self-care of, okay, like don't overwork to get, praise from your higher ups. That's a form of self-abandonment. I have some of my clients now to where they're like, they're working, 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 and then they're abandoning themselves, and they don't feel the way they want to feel, look the way they want to look, and really just feel like there's more balance in their life, because a lot of their sense of worth and value comes from their success and accolades and income and praise from people outside of them. So it is not overworking. For me, it was not going out happy hours that last until past midnight. It was really getting a good skincare routine in place. And I also got to a point to where I wanted to hire a personal trainer, because I just wanted to feel strong and safe in my body. I've had, sexual assault in my past. So I never really felt safe, and it still comes up from time to time, like just walking by myself when I pass, men or, certain environments. So that was a big reason for the personal training too, was to feel strong and capable of defending myself if I needed to, and also if I need to leave a situation in a future dating experience because of that sexual assault experience, what actually experience is. So that can leave a deep, you know, uh, safety, not feeling safe wound. So the personal trainer, and then to feel strong and safe, and then I started looking good, and then getting the proper rest and taking better care of my skin. So everything, and really what was going on behind the scenes was, I mean, yeah, you could see results on the outside, but what was happening on the inside was so much more profound and transformative than the results on the outside. Like that was just like a bonus. But the transformation, the change, the healing, the rebuilding that was happening on the inside was like, uh, I mean, I'm speechless. I'm like, that's what really changed my my life and my self-worth and my self-respect and just these new concepts and beliefs I started creating about myself, what was possible for my life. And yeah, everything changed. And then I started dating with more confidence. And then I met Andriy, my sexy Ukrainian European partner today. We have this beautiful 3.5-year-old daughter, Sasha, who is so much fun, and a handful. And, also me now showing up in motherhood, really having this good, career in, mom, parenting, like life balance and doing work authentically. And yeah, I mean, it's not like this big thing that you need to do or this big change and shift that happens all at once. It's really just starting with like one small baby step at a time. Where if you're being honest with yourself, where are you not really giving the care to yourself and nurture to yourself that you really need at this stage in your life, right? If you want to break this toxic relationship pattern, if there's someone who wants to call and help you love, okay, so now we know that we got to look at you, start showing up for you how you want others to show up for you. So think of that one thing if you started to change today, really it can be one little thing. What can you do for the next 30 days? Is it drinking maybe instead of 3 glasses of wine a night, maybe cut back to two? Um, is it uh, not watching, 3 hours of your favorite show on Netflix and cutting back to 2 hours? You know what I mean? Like minuscule little habit changes to do right now. And then you do that, you get in the habit of that, and then you pick that next thing, right? Maybe it's walking every evening after dinner for a half hour, right? That next little thing. Maybe that next thing is okay, you're starting to read a chapter a night of this really good book on how to heal from childhood trauma. Maybe the next thing is okay, it is this in person live workshop with this coach or with this person that you really admire. They're putting on this event in a city nearby that you invest in and go to. You know what I mean? Like it's really just little things that you're stacking on each other, like 30 day after 30 day after 30 day after 30 day. It's not this big thing all at once. It's little steps, baby steps, and showing up for yourself that you practice every single day, and like little stuff, getting home an hour earlier, subtracting a glass of wine, subtracting an hour from your show. Maybe you start flossing if you're not a flosser. It's like this little stuff that really gives you the momentum to continue on with the healthy, self-respecting, self-loving, nurturing habits that then get you to build your self-worth and your confidence to then really feeling worthy, and just confident and secure, and to start dating with higher standards, with higher standards, high intention, but very low attachment to in desperation, you know? So this is what I did. Uh, and it's what I taught many women to do. And listen, like first, like, was this what I just shared today in this video in this past almost 20 minutes was like, is this landing? Let me know. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you're taking away anything below, please, in the comments. And also, please know that this is the work, the women's work that I do as a coach. I've been teaching this inner work for nearly 10 years. I've been saying 8 years, but when I think about it, I'm like, actually, it's been almost 10 years. Lost a couple years in my new motherhood journey, forgetful brain. But I've been teaching this inner work, this rediscovering your self worth and your confidence in designing this fulfilling life that you deserve for nearly a decade. And really small baby steps that you do, okay, to completely change the game, to change your life. So if you are ready to actually take that bigger leap, invest in yourself, have that support, that step-by-step guidance, someone holding your hand and walking you through step by step, having that daily accountability and work, with someone over a longer period of time, 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year. This is what I do as a life coach for women. If you're interested in learning more on how to work with me, if that's something you're ready to do, then you can visit below in the description. My website's there. Check out my website. Learn about the women I've helped. There's a bunch of beautiful testimonials. I guarantee you're going to see some of yourself in their story, and some of my clients. You can learn more about my personal experience and background, more of my story, and also my professional experience. And then there's links throughout my website to book in a free call with me, just to have a clarity call, a consult call, just to talk about where you're at, what you're just tired of, what you want to start, building and creating for yourself. And then we can take it from there if we would be a good match to work together. And this is something that, you're ready to put the work in and to do. Okay. Um, was this helpful today? Please let me know. Give it a thumbs up, share a comment below. Definitely subscribe if you want to keep hearing from me every single week. You'll get a notification. And really, just my intention and goal and mission here is to just keep inspiring you and just like drilling into you that where you're at right now, if you're not happy with it, it does not have to remain. You can start changing this right away. And not with these big steps. It's really just one little small baby step at a time. Okay. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching today. Bye.